Today's Mercedes-Benz interview of the day brought to you by the utterly inspired all-electric EQE sedan from Mercedes-Benz. Vehicle all-electric, feeling all Mercedes. Learn more at mbusa.com/EQE. More of your phone calls coming up. He's the Hall of Famer. He's Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT. Has Patrick Beverley played his last game in the NBA?
No, but he's going to get a really good suspension because, he fired that ball in there twice. He hit that lady in the head, which, I'm a really big domestic person, man. You can never hit a woman under any circumstances. So he's going to get a big suspension for that. And then he fired it in there twice. And I don't care what anybody said to you. You cannot do that, period.
I think you send him to the Wizards and then you punish him that way.
That is a punishment. But no, man, I've always liked Patrick Beverley, but man, you can't, like I say, man, I've always had this thing going with the NBA about domestic violence. Under no circumstance can you ever put your hands on a woman. And he hit that poor woman in the face with that ball the first time. Then he did it again, throwing it back in the stands. So listen, I've done stupid things like that where I got arrested, got fighting with fans, and I was 100% wrong, 100% wrong. But you can't do that under any circumstances.
All right. Are the Knicks a great team?
No. Brunson's a great player. He's unbelievable. Everybody gave me a hard time this year when I said that's one of the great free agent signings of all time. Kenny says, like, what about LeBron and what about KD? I said, yeah, those guys are all-time greats. But Brunson is one of the great signings in NBA history. I don't even think the Knicks thought he was going to be this good. The Knicks didn't even think that.
Yeah.
They thought when they signed him, there's no way they thought he was going to be this great as a player. So, hey, man, he's a great kid. I don't know him well, but I'm happy for him, period.
Sometimes when you have that team that, the sum of the parts makes it a really good team, they're not necessarily a talented team, but they know what to do and when to do it. And I think those are dangerous teams sometimes, where sometimes you rely on stars. Other times it just everybody knows we have to do this every single night. We can't take nights off.
Well, I think that the one thing I always say, every player in the NBA is a good player. Every player in the player, they're not all stars or superstars, but everybody in the NBA is a good player. And you factor in, he's that guy. Every team has a guy who everybody follows. That's what makes them dangerous. Now, I'm saying that. I'm taking the Pacers. I'm taking the Pacers in that next series. Okay. The two things I said earlier this year, the Pacers getting Siakam and the Mavs getting Gafford and PJ. Those were the two best trade deadlines, deals that happened. I still feel really good about my prediction. I think the Pacers and the Mavs are the two most dangerous teams left in the playoffs.
Wait, you got the Mavs going to the Western, representing the Western Conference in the NBA Finals?
I do not. I didn't do that. I'm saying, though, that they had the best. Getting Gafford and PJ made them dangerous. Listen, I got to tell you something, Dan. OKC and Minnesota, man, what they're doing is incredible. We got the first game tomorrow. The Mavs, it's not the Mavs, excuse me, that's tonight. The Nuggets against Minnesota is a heavyweight slugfest. I got zero idea who's going to win that series, but that's a big boy matchup. I can't wait to get it started tomorrow. I think OKC beats whoever comes out of the Mavs Clipper series. I do. But I love what the Mavs did getting Gafford and PJ. But I love OKC. I think they're going to win that bracket. And man, I'm really excited about this. The Nuggets, I'm really excited about them against Minnesota because that is a big boy series.
When can we start making any kind of comparison with Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan?
Oh, in 5 to 10 years.
Oh, I can't do anything now of starting his career and Mike starting his career?
Well, Mike averaged, people forget, he averaged 38 a game back when you could really knock the hell out of people. He averaged 38 points a game. People forget that. And then Anthony, who I love. He don't have to go through the bad boy pistol when they just beat the hell out of you 3 or 4 years in a row. I love Anthony Edwards. I love his mentality. I love one of the best things I've seen on television this year was when he was with Scott Van Pelt, and he says, "I'm just gonna kill everything in front of me." I haven't seen but two players in my NBA career that said that, and that's Michael and Kobe. They didn't care about anybody. They didn't want any friends. They didn't want any frenemies. They just wanted to kill everything in front of them. I love Anthony Edwards. He's my favorite player in the NBA now because all these guys out here want to hug and kiss and sing Kumbaya. Anthony Edwards just want to kill everything in front of him. I love watching him play.
Isaiah never tried to kiss you, did he?
Isaiah was, I feel bad for Isaiah because he's the best little man ever until Steph Curry. He never probably got the credit or respect that he deserved. And so I feel bad about it. I got nothing but respect for Isaiah because, like I say, he's the best little until Steph Curry came along. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in a game, if I had to choose, and I love Steph Curry, and I know people are going to go on the internet because they ain't got no life. If I had to choose between Steph Curry and Isaiah, I'd probably go with Isaiah in a scenario. But I love Steph, I love Isaiah. But if I had one guy, if I had to choose between those two, I'm not going to ever choose against Isaiah.
Were you involved in the discussions with the Olympic team of not wanting Isaiah? Were you around that conversation?
Never. They never asked me.
You never heard? Did you hear?
Never. So I'm glad you asked me that because every time I hear that BS, like, no, man, they never asked me. Should Isaiah have been on the team? Probably. But I don't, I was never asked. And, well, I mean, like I say, obviously, it's come out a couple of times that Michael didn't want him on the team. I think Jack McCallum came out with a quote last year saying, and he had it on the record that Michael didn't want Isaiah on the team. That's between them. But no, I was never asked about Isaiah on the Dream Team.
76ers going forward. They got cap space and they got draft picks. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Oh, I think they're in a great situation. They got to get Joel healthy. And Maxey is turning into a star right before our eyes. So, man, it's funny. I asked for a list last night of the most available free agents. And there's some interesting names on there. Paul George, OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam. So they're going to have some choices because Joel is an MVP. Maxey is an emerging star. I think Philadelphia's in a great situation going forward. But they got to find the right guy because if they get the right guy, man, they're going to be a contender. Because let me tell you something. I said this on the air. The Boston Celtics are probably going to be the favorite to win the NBA championship for the next 5 to 7 years. They are. Jason and Jalen, they're both like, I think they're 23 or 24. They just signed Drew Holiday for the next 4 years. I don't think Porzingis is older. So they're going to be the favorite. Going into this, obviously Denver's right there because the Joker, he's the best player in the world. But the Celtics are going to be the favorite for the next 5 years or in the conversation.
Talking to Charles Barkley, the Hall of Famer. Feel better about the Lakers or Warriors going forward?
As radio said, both. I don't feel good about either. They both stink. And I know what they're going to do. They're going to throw the coach off the bus, overboard, excuse me. It's not Darvin Ham. It's not Darvin Ham or Frank Vogel that the reason the Warriors and the Lakers suck. The Warriors got old. That happens. You get old. Well, first of all, you hope you get old or you're dead. So the Warriors got old, and the Lakers got old too. So there's nothing you can do about that. But neither one of them are. And it really bothered me. I went off a couple of months ago about all these jackasses and idiots on other networks that who's going to make a run, the Lakers or the Warriors? I said neither. Neither going to make a run. Neither one of them are any good. And they're not any good going forward unless they do something drastic.
How do you feel about the Suns moving forward?
Oh, they're really they're probably worse. They're probably worse. And I know they're gonna probably throw Frank Vogel under overboard, and it's not his
He
fault.
just got there.
I know, but you know what? We're in a generation where these players, if you say anything about them, they're sensitive, and it's always the coach's fault. That's the one thing I hate about the game today. It's the coach's fault. I'm like, well, the Lakers, they're not any good. The Warriors aren't any good. The Suns aren't any good. It ain't have nothing to do with the coaches. They all three got good coaches. The Lakers and the Warriors, they're imaginary, I call them. We have to make up stuff to get them in the playoffs. The play-in stuff is not even a thing. That's not even a thing. We just made it up. Like we normally have 8 teams in the playoffs. Now let's find a way to get the Lakers and the Warriors in the playoffs, and then they both lose in the play-in bull stuff, and so they got to make some tough decisions. Part of your job as a general manager is make tough decisions. And all three of those teams got to make some tough decisions, period.
Well, they don't fire the GM. They fire the coach.
But none of those situations have anything to do with the coach.
All right.
None of them.
What is the future of NBA on TNT, your show?
I have zero idea. It's interesting you asked me that question because I think today is the deadline. I don't know. It's nerve-wracking for everybody. It's very stressful, but I don't think anybody knows. Listen, I love TNT. I hope we keep it. I love TNT. But right now, I think I talked to Ernie last night. I think they're going to make a decision by the end of the day. And I don't think any of us know what that decision is going to be.
Now, they have to match NBC's offer.
Yes,
okay.
But I don't think we know what's going to happen. But it's very stressful at work right now.
But if the NBA goes away, are you a free agent?
Yes.
Is Shaq?
I don't know their contract situations, but I made sure because we had a disagreement. We had a disagreement when I was redoing my deal 2 years ago about, well, what happens if we lose to NBA? And they're like, well, we don't know. And I said, well, what does that mean? You don't know. And I want to put myself in the best possible scenario. And I said, I want to be a free agent if we lose to NBA. And they said, no way. I said, no, there's going to be a way. And I said, guys, I'm not signing a new contract unless I can be a free agent in 2 years. Now, I want to make it clear. I love TNT. I love everybody at TNT, and they've been great for me. But I don't want to be in limbo if we lose to NBA. That wouldn't be fair to me. Like, there's no person watching this show right now want to be like, I don't have a job and know what I can do. I want to make it perfectly clear. If y'all lose to NBA, I want to be a free agent. So that's the situation now. And I can say that. I hope we sign the NBA. I love TNT, but it's nerve-wracking over here right now.
You guys got a lot of power, though. You and Shaq and Kenny, if you guys want to. I know Ernie's said publicly that he wants to stay at TNT.
Well, we all want to stay at TNT.
No, but if the NBA leaves, Ernie said that he wants to stay at TNT.
Well, I don't know how that. See, that's the thing, Dan. None of us know how that works. They don't need me, Kenny, and Ernie, because he does other sports.
Yes,
he does baseball and things like that. But us other three, that's a great question because us other three are screwed, basically. Not necessarily screwed, but we won't have a job.
No, NBC would then just say, guys, come on over.
Yeah, but I don't know how that works without Ernie, to be honest with you. And I can't speak for NBC. I don't know if they want all three of us. So
I would think so.
Well, but like I say, our show won't be the same without Ernie. Ernie is the most important person on our show.
Yep.
So I don't. That's the thing that I wanted.
How about Adam Lefkoe?
Oh, I love Adam. Adam's great.
There you go.
But hey, listen, I love Adam, but I can't be giving people jobs, Dan. I can't,
Yes, you
I can't
can.
yeah, I
Yes, you
can't.
can.
Yeah, like I say, listen, I don't know what Kenny and Shaq. Listen, see, that's the thing that's really scary about this whole scenario. I can't speak for I can't speak for Ernie, Kenny, or Shaq. Yeah, do I want us to stay together? 100%. But I can't say no.
Can you try to speak for Shaq? Let me hear how that sounds.
Well, Chuck, if you want to, we got to find a way to stay together. And we got to go to NBC or Amazon or blah, blah, blah. But, Dan, it is, and first of all, I want to make this clear. I feel bad for the people at TNT. I feel bad for the people because if we lose the NBA, the people who've been great to me behind the scenes, we've merged 3 times in the last 5 years, and we fired hundreds of people the last 5 years. And like I said, we merged 3 times in the last 5 years. We fired hundreds of people. If we lose to NBA, I can't imagine how bad it's going to be at Turner. But I really hope we keep the NBA. But man, I will tell you, we've been talking about it. Because this is the first time we haven't signed a deal during that exclusive window. We've always signed. It's never went out for open bidding. Never. In my 24, I think this is my 24th year. Every single year, we've always signed during the exclusive negotiating period. So it's very stressful over here right now.
It's great to talk to you.
Appreciate you, brother. Hey.
What?
Like you say, what's interesting about this whole thing? They say that they're going to make a decision by the end of the day. So what I'm going to do, I'm not.
And then you got to work tonight?
No, we're off tonight. We got the game 1, Minnesota, Denver tomorrow. ESPN has the 2 games tonight. So I'm going to go and get drunk on the golf course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to play golf. I'm going to get drunk as hell on the golf course. And if they call me sometime today and tell me I don't have a job, I'm going to be sad. But I'm hoping they call me and tell me I still got a job. But I'm going to be drunk and playing golf either way.
Who are you playing with?
Underdog and Alex, 2 of my TNT buddies, who are really concerned about their jobs, I might add.
Lose some money to them. How's that?
They both cheat. And I'm better than them, Dan. And I'm better than you.
You are now.
Okay.
You are now.
I am. I just want to hear it.
And you got new glasses.
Well, Shaq's keeping me in glasses now. He has
those are grandpa glasses. That looks like, when Harry Carey used to do the games, those big, they looked like they were miniature TV sets that he screened.
Shout out to the great Harry Carey. I miss him. But no, man, Shaq can you imagine that Shaq has an eyewear deal? So he gets me all type of glasses now.
Of course, is Shaq?
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Is he a billionaire?
He's close. He's a great businessman.
Yeah,
I will tell you that he's a great businessman. I give him a lot of credit. He's a great businessman. I don't know if he's a billionaire, but he's in the neighborhood. He's right up the street.
Dear Patrick, shut the hell up. Thank you, Charles.
Hey, none of us going to have money if we get fired.
You're going to be okay. Charles Barkley, NBA on TNT. Yeah, I know that Peacock and NBC, they put a pretty good bid out there. And I didn't know the deadline was later today. But NBA on TNT, maybe NBA on NBC.